Hello everyone, it's Christine here and happy Thrifty Thursday. So in this video I will be sharing a beautiful little haul or medium-sized haul that I got from the Vintage Bazaar pop-up shop in Dromana, where one of the lovely ladies that I follow on Instagram, Gladdy Flo, has a pop-up stall there, and I'd seen some of her lovely goodies on Instagram and was very keen to drop in and check it out. And I was just absolutely blown away by how beautiful the stall was, and just how very fair the prices were, so I couldn't resist picking up some things. I actually messaged afterwards and said that perhaps the Gladdy Flo stall will need to be restocked after I have been through, but there was plenty still there for others. I could have happily bought it all. It was so beautifully presented. Just really lovely items, and as I say, very, very fair prices. The prices are comparable to what you're finding in op shops these days for these beautiful vintage linens, and then some really gorgeously presented and put together items as well. So I'll start with some of the smaller items on top, and there's layers upon layers here. But the first one I have to start with, and this reminds me of the lovely Sally from Dotty B. I was actually lucky enough to have a little online video chat with both Sally from Dotty B and Christy from So Bits Christy, and I showed these to Sally, and they reminded me of one of the beautiful pieces that she has done recently with strawberries on them. So these are 6 hexagons taken from vintage cutouts of linens. I think they've used ones that had damage or something on them, but then preserved just the beautiful embellishments. And aren't they going to be just lovely to add to my pieces? So they're just stuck down on the card here with a bit of sticky tape, and then they've got their sort of stabilizing in the back of them, and they're tacked down, but then you could stitch them onto your piece. You can leave the tacking stitches in for some people like that look, or you can take the tacking stitches out. You could sew them together into a little flower. I'll probably use these sort of individually because they're so sweet. Wouldn't they be just lovely in a little sewing book or something? So yeah, that was beautiful. And then I got a second set of those hexies with these lovely flower designs, and again, just beautiful. You could even stitch something onto this as like a little name or a word or something. Even this one would work well with that. So they're just going to be so lovely to add. And I haven't thought about doing hexies of that sort of size with embroidery on them. The next of the little treasures, and I've taken everything out of the plastic bags they were presented in, because I know some folks don't like the rustling and things, were these beautiful little button cards. So they came in a little plastic satchel, and then they're presented on these vintage playing cards. And how lovely is that as an idea? And then just have a piece of card that says vintage buttons. These were an absolute bargain. They were $2 Australian for one of these cards with such gorgeous vintage buttons on it. So I couldn't resist picking up some in the colours that I'm working on with my heirloom family quilt. So the sort of burgundy reddy colours, just love those little ones. So I've got 2 of those, which is good. I can instantly use, but I just think they're so beautiful, and I'll probably initially just store them in a little container on my little vintage sewing table that I have outside my craft room, because they're going to give me a lot of joy. Now the sun has just started streaming through the window, so I might have to, I think it should be okay. Hopefully you don't get too much sun glare. I might just momentarily pull the curtain. So yeah, these beautiful ones, and then these little white ones I couldn't resist either. I particularly like this little, it almost reminds me of a little fungi or something. I might use it in one of my texture fibre pieces. And then these beautiful little white ones. So I'll move those to that side. I can reuse the bits of card. And then, before we get onto the doilies and tray cloths, got this beautiful little bag with red work on it. And I was quite touched. Inside it has, it's been just sort of padded out with a bit of a vintage pattern, which I just think is a lovely way to do things. So that's really sweet. So I'll use that as one of my little project bags. I can probably actually keep the pattern out of it. So they'll be very, very useful, a great little size. And then some of these were hanging up at the stand. And these are beautiful, partially finished doilies. So this is a Semco doily sheet, and I had to get it because it has my favourite little birds on it, and it even had the needle with the thread still done. So yeah, I just thought that was such a lovely idea, and I will enjoy yeah, adding to and finishing. I'm thinking I might even do some extra stitches over where the flowers are, just so that because I think these are the ones where they're meant to wash out when you yeah, when you give them a wash. But I think some people have been finding that the design still stays in place. So I might add some extra stitches just so you don't see the black markings underneath. But this fits in really well with our sort of 1800s embroidery stitcheries that we're doing at the moment as the stitch along. I got this beautiful cushion with a lovely sort of letter sampler on it and beautiful fruit surrounding it. Really lovely. I even looked inside, and it's, yeah, beautiful and clean. Everything about this store was all fresh, clean, in really gorgeous condition. So that will be lovely. I might even use that just when I'm sitting down on the couch and don't want to accidentally stab Travers, the Labrador. He likes to still sit on my lap, even though he is the size of a miniature horse these days. So that might be handy for that purpose. Then we can move on to some of the lovely little doilies. So these were, I think, the doilies were all $3, which is, yeah, very, very good these days for yeah, beautifully presented doily. Like, some of them do have little stains, but you could immediately see what they were, and for me that doesn't worry me at all. Just the stitching detail on these, and these are beautiful to either yeah, use in their entirety, like in a little needle book. I'd probably sort of, yeah, not fold it in the middle, because you obviously want the basket to be there, but you could make it into a little pocket or something, and that would be incredibly sweet. This one has the beautiful nasturtiums, which are out in my garden at the moment, so I saw that one and thought, yep, I've got to get that. Just beautiful stitching on this one, and I don't think this one's got any, yeah, stains or damage to it. Then this one I had to get, not so much for the design down here, which I don't mind little boats and little people on the bridges, are more sort of oriental design, but I had to get it for the little birds, and it does have a bit of damage in the center, so either I could be stitching something on, or I could add these yeah, these birds to something else, or I could kind of yeah, do some work over the bits that I'm not as fussed about. This one I got because my dad's side of the family's from Scotland, so the Scotch thistle, and I just thought it was, yeah, really delicate work, and again just shows how simple stitching can achieve lovely embroideries. So I might even, although it's not quite the colours, I might incorporate that into my family heirloom piece as well. I might put my Nana and my grandpa on my dad's side's names on this, or I might even do a little actually that would be fun, a little kilt, because my dad got married in a kilt, and Mum didn't actually know until she arrived at the church and walked in that Dad was also wearing a, well, not a dress, but a skirt. She'd been asking him for the longest time what colour suit he was wearing, and he'd been a bit evasive. And then this one is a beautiful boat, which was a nice little pickup for down on the peninsula. I was sharing with the owner of Gladdy Flo after we were chatting, after I'd got my goodies, went online when I sent her a message, that my mum and my uncle like to go fishing down on the Mornington Peninsula. So I thought this would be a nice little one to represent that. Obviously their boat's nowhere near as fancy as that. It's actually just a little tinny, but a lovely nautical, but with the flowers. I thought that was a very, very sweet design. I think we've actually got a boat design in our 1800s embroidery, so I'll have to do a bit of a comparison. Then there were some of these, what are they called there? It's gone out of my head. dresser table sort of sets. So they have a few different things in them. Again, they're in lovely packaging, but I've popped them out. The Travers hair is all Travers. I don't know how he manages to get his hair even when I haven't even had shown him these ones. But I couldn't resist the beautiful fine little flower work on these ones. I thought it was incredibly lovely. Really sweet. So there's 2 of those. And again, no staining and just beautifully laundered. And then a piece of card holding it in the middle. And then so many beautiful, it's quite sizable, almost like a little mini, table cloth. You could use it on one of those lovely little round tables. But just loved the different flower designs. And just the detailing in them is quite incredible. So yeah, couldn't resist that one. And then I got one other of the little dresser sets. So that's beautiful. Put that off to the side. The other little dresser set I got before I get onto the tray cloths was this one here. So I just love this little cross stitch pieces. Love the blues. Just incredibly neat, even the backs of these pieces. And then another sweet little one. So lovely. So these, they might have a tiny little bit where someone's mended it there, or maybe that was part of the original design, but still in incredibly good condition. Don't know if they were originally done in the same colour threads, and maybe some of them have been a bit more used, because I can notice these 2, they've almost sort of faded a bit if they were originally this colour, or whether this one has been done after the fact. But I think maybe it is that they've been a bit more in the light, because I'm even looking, everything on this one is a bit more vibrant, so maybe that one hadn't been used as much. And then there's a large one that goes with it. So again, this one looks like it's got the more sort of faded colours. There's only the one which looks just a lot more vibrant. Isn't that interesting? And I'm sure this one, this one would have definitely been part of the set. Everything's exactly the same. Fabrics exactly the same, So maybe this one just, was somewhere a bit more out of the light, perhaps. And so some tiny little stains on the back, but you can't see those on the front. So I might have to use these for a bit before I actually, if I was to ever stitch, cut into them. But they could even be used whole, like even if you're doing a nice little like an extra large needle book or something, you could have that wrapping right over. Oh yeah, there are some little stains there, but that really wouldn't worry me. So that's going to be lovely. And then I couldn't resist some tray cloths, and don't you love that they've got these little birds over here in the distance, and then you've got this sweet little cottage. This one reminds me of Railway Cottage, who's doing her slow stitch quilt at the moment. And so it's just like a hand towel or something. Got this lovely cotton, beautiful cotton linen on the end, but I just thought that was an incredibly sweet design. I know my friend Christy, she loves these little flowers, which I think are just done as a buttonhole, like a circle buttonhole stitch variation. So again, it wouldn't be complex to kind of copy a design like this, so I just think these will be great inspiration. And who knows, I might even use this as a little guest towel. Wouldn't that be lovely to have out when folks come to visit? And then this one, again, just loved the colour of the linen, and then just the beautiful fine work. It's getting rare to find things in such good condition and for such reasonable prices. These tray cloths, I think, were $8. So that's incredibly good for something, so beautiful. This one, again, couldn't resist the beautiful flowers, the fuchsias there. Just lovely work. Little forget-me-nots. And then some more. Again, it would make a either a really nice tray cloth, or you could use it as a little little book cover, or even you can probably fold them into like a little gift envelope or something. Yeah, lots of possibilities for them, even in their entirety. This one, the crinoline lady in all her glory, and again the same little like a little cottage motif, and the little birds in the sky. So there's one on each of the two corners, and again this is a beautiful, it feels like an Irish linen with the lovely drawn work along the side. So that was delightful. And then this one, a baby one, I'll have to wait till a friend's having a baby or something. It's yeah, too good to chop up, I think, unless I turned it into something else. But I think it's, yeah, really beautiful, and with these nice vibrant baskets on it. So yeah, lovely. And again, beautiful fabric, lovely drawn thread work, beautiful lace around the edge. And then this one made me smile, and I thought, oh, I might need to put it in a frame or something and have it in front of my work desk, so when I turn the computer on in the morning, I've got a flamenco lady and a big good morning to myself. So yeah, that made me smile, so I bought it. And then this one's another lovely good morning one with these little bluebells there. And it's got, yeah, the lovely fence design and rambling flowers, and then the teacup, similar to what we've been doing in our stitch along. I'm just having a look. Have I got my teacup over here? I'm sure it's somewhere here. Where has it gone? There it is. Let's compare. I think ours is a bit more ornate actually than what's on here. But yeah, I've got my little tea for two. But I thought that was a fun one to have. And again, yeah, they're lovely. Wouldn't it be nice to actually use them down on the table, although we tend to have a bit more of a quick breakfast. We try and sit down together for lunch and dinner when we're both working at home. Always dinner, but yeah, try and do lunch together if we can as well. So yeah, that's all my lovely little haul. As I say, incredibly wonderful. And I'll include a link to Gladdy and Flo on Instagram. And I'll also include a link to the Vintage Bazaar. But yeah, I hope to yeah, check out more of the lovely goodies, because it's, as I say, it's getting rarer to be able to find ones in such beautiful and such beautifully curated goodies, and to also just have these lovely little things like the little button cards, I think is incredibly sweet. And someone's, yeah, handwork with these sorts of ones. I'm going to enjoy looking at them, and then I will definitely enjoy adding them to projects. So I hope you enjoyed that little look through. And now I will share with you some of the footage I took while we were at the beach at Rosebud, if you want to stay on and watch that. Thanks everyone. Bye. See Alex in the distance sitting on our little picnic table on our little picnic chairs, and then all the kite circles. My trusty little mate next to me, Travers, coming for a little after lunch beach walk, aren't you, boy? Yeah, he's a good buddy. I think Alex is watching Bathurst on his phone. I stopped at the Vintage Bazaar in Rosebud because I thought that's where Gladdy and Flo had their store, but then discovered it was actually in Dromana at a pop-up store. So I went there and got some very lovely goodies, which I'll probably try and show you as part of Thrifty Thursday. Now we're just walking back down the beach together, aren't we, Travis? Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? You are, aren't you? Would you like a biscuit? This is from all your friends online. There's a Vicky from everybody. I don't really need to ask if he wants a biscuit. He always wants a biscuit. You are a lovely little one after all, aren't you, Travis? picture of our little picnic lunch, so I'll try and remember to insert that too. And there's Alex up in the sand dunes.